Welcome. You know what the fuck going on? It is Pro Pittman, Venie The Great, 251 Talk Radio. It is Men's Mental Health Monday
Case.
today. How are you guys doing out there? We are on episode 44. What does it do? How are you doing, Vinny?
I am great now that my stereo issues have been solved.
They
So
tried to have us in the stereo sunken place to where we couldn't properly have our conversation and build about the topic of men's mental health. That's what we're here for, guys. Salute to
yeah.
you, my brother. Salute to you, brother. None but
Salute
love.
to you, man. All love, bro.
We'll jump right into the show. We'll do some small introductions, then we'll jump right into the show. This is 251 Talk Radio. Follow us on Spotify. Normally, I would have the link and all that inside of here, but stereo is tweaking. We're just going to jump into the show today. The information is always out there for you guys. Follow Pro Pittman on YouTube and Spotify at 251 Talk Radio, as well as Apple Podcasts and wherever else you get your podcast material and content. This is 251 Talk Radio. We're going to get things started right now.
And we're here.
Jeez. Since the last time we talked, like, shit done happened. Stress me out.
Hey,
Earlier.
it, bro.
It's like, things that we didn't speak about earlier have come up now, and it's crazy how just the day by day things change of what attacks you and what, brings you to a point to where you have to, like, you realize you're being challenged, and you still want to be the best version of yourself, especially when you're out in public dealing, with the just, people that work in public like I do. You can't go somewhere stressed out and fucked up and then react and give someone that which they didn't deserve. And that's a part of what we were speaking about earlier, the idea of responding versus reacting. Responding accordingly to the situation as opposed to reacting to how it makes us feel. You know what I'm saying? For real.
The one thing about reaction is, especially me, I deal with anger issues. So like my reaction it's a short fuse. So it's just gonna be boom, whatever first comes to mind. And I realize more and more every day that when I do that and I don't collect my thoughts, I end up saying something very hurtful and something that I regret.
Yeah, I
So
feel you. I totally
it's
feel
just
you.
one of those things, man. Just one of those things. Especially with me, because like I said, I deal with this anger, man. Somebody say something small, and it ain't even, it may be joking. And I'm just like, man, what you say? What? Go
And
overboard,
take it
overthink it.
and coming from one of your friends, I got to tell you, you must have had put some work in with trying to hone that side of you and find a balance, because from as long as I've known you, over 10 years, it's rare that you get off your square, that someone brings you off your square. So it must have taken a lot of work and a lot of probably situations where you weren't able to exercise that and you made the wrong mistake. You made the wrong decision. So now in life, you seem a lot more reserved in that anger ever coming out. But that's just what we show the other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does that manifest inside yourself? Doesn't mean you don't
Yes,
still get
sir.
angry with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That you don't have to still deal with the ramifications of what that does to you. Mentally, it's a lot to it, man. So I can only imagine. I deal with depression and anxiety and overthinking sometimes, or doing too much and not balancing myself properly. And it's just something that I've been dealing with for years that I'm slowly, getting a hold on. But conversations like
Yes.
these help out, and it keeps us, you know, it finds a balance for us to realize that, for one, we're not alone, and for two, that a mental health situation in any topic is something that's worth speaking about. To realize, that you can always find a solution in these things if you look for it. Absolutely.
And I like that you said deal, because it's no cure for my anger. There's no cure
Right,
for
right.
depression. It's how you deal with it from day to day. And that's just what I had to learn. I had to learn how to deal with it. I had to learn my triggers. I had to be aware of, okay, this is why I feel this way. I'm starting to feel that adrenaline release. You need to calm yourself. And there's certain exercises that I practice, and that's just for me going to therapy and going down that road. So it's
Yeah,
like every day I'm working. Every day is a struggle. You know what I mean? And
true
every
indeed.
day you're faced with new challenges too. And as a man, you got to respond effectively. And sometimes it's hard when you get in the way of yourself. And I know I'm not the only one that battles that because I get in the way of myself so much. Even if
Mm.
it's just like going into the store and buying something, I just like, oh, do I smell like weed? And like, oh, and like anxiety just strikes, and then I'm afraid to go in there. So I didn't
Yeah, I
drove
feel you.
15, 20 minutes to go do this, and whole time I'm sitting here in the parking lot battling myself. So,
Yeah, true indeed,
but
brother.
that's what I got to deal with, though.
It goes to a point that we were speaking of earlier. Oh, and guys, just so you know, if you're listening to this on Spotify or YouTube or wherever you hear your podcast, Amazon, we are broadcasting live on the Stereo app. Follow us on Stereo at Venie The Great and Pro Pittman. We record these conversations live because you can leave a voice message that we can play throughout the show and respond to what you said accordingly. You're a part of the conversation. Right now, we have five
Yes, sir.
listeners who are in the room with us right now. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, especially through the technical difficulties earlier. We do apologize, but this is what we do. We are advocates of men's mental health, amongst other things. We talk about pro wrestling, hip hop, battle rap, relationships, whatever the case. We love it all. But our weekly show is the Men's Mental Health Monday here on Stereo. So thank you guys so much for being here.
Yes.
We
Yes,
appreciate
yes.
you.
And I know it says men's mental health, but women are welcome also. Please give your
Absolutely.
input. Please share this conversation. We would like to talk to
Absolutely.
you too.
Something we spoke about earlier was the idea of shame and how shame weighs heavily on a lot of men and plays a big part in the the mental health issues and sometimes the build up to things that turn into mental health issues that we sometimes neglect or don't attribute to shame as it is. Um, I was speaking earlier about, my situations with shame, my drug addiction problems that I had back in the day. I'm currently 4 years sober. But there was a time where,
Clap
I
that
had a
up.
coca,
Clap it up.
I
Clap it
appreciate
up.
number love, number love.
Get
Thank
the
you very much.
clap. Get the clap.
Um, I had problems with it, and I've done things that I would not, that I feel ashamed of. I was living a certain way, that a lack of knowledge of self will lead you to being a savage. And like I said earlier, a savage is a person that's lost the knowledge of self and is living a beast life. And I never want to be anything beastly anymore. I don't ever want to feel like a heathen in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've done things in the sense to where I've brought shame upon myself and I've had to come out of it. And the other side of shame is redemption. Like, redemption is real only if you believe you feel
Yes,
the
sir.
redemption. People can tell you for forever, "Oh, you doing good, G? You doing way better." Folks, great, fun of, bro. No, you doing way better. But if I don't feel like that, if I don't feel I'm doing better, it's not gonna be real redemption in my eyes. Because it's really you have to redeem yourself to. The rest of the world truly can't hold you down. You're gonna hold you down. And back to
Yes,
the topic
sir.
of shame, I was speaking about how this book I was reading, The Masculine in Relationship, A Blueprint for Inspiring the Trust, Lust, and Devotion of a Strong Woman by C.S. Youngblood. Go get that book, guys. It's really, really good. There's a chapter about emotions where we speak about shame, and I want to read a small excerpt for you guys. We talk about how shame, takes away the idea of being a masculine leader in this day and age. What it does to ourselves. A leader is visible, and the energy is always normally big when you're a leader. In contrast, a person engulfed in shame simply wants to shrink, disappear, and not be seen by anyone. Put simply, shame is the fear of having your undesirable traits seen by others. And that's some real shit, It's like the things that I don't like about myself, the things that I am ashamed of, I don't want you to see either. That'll keep a motherfucker in the house. You know what I'm saying? You won't go do
All
nothing.
the way in the
You
house.
bro, I'm in the crib, and we need to be out and be around other people and be able to be in our own skin and love who we are. But the shame that we feel from past decisions and past emotions and past relationships can hinder anything new coming towards you. And that's something that we need to work on, as do I, which I have taken time to work on, which is why I picked shame as the topic for today. Because God, I've made big mistakes, years ago that still haunt me, I feel like, and certain triggers bring up these feelings between me and my fiance about the things that I've done in the past. And I have to remind myself, no, Darius, you've done all you've had to do to redeem yourself and make things better and become the man that you promised you were going to be. And I have to remind myself that I'm still working on doing that. And I can't let anyone else make me feel bad about the things that may have transpired in the past that I've put all my work towards, redeeming myself for. So we have to forgive ourselves sometimes,
Yes,
about those
sir.
traits that we find to be undesirable. You feel me? It's crazy, bro.
And the thing about shame too is like you alluded to with forgiveness. And like I noticed like some of the most shame I feel is like things that I've done in my relationship. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Maybe a white lie or something like that that I've told, or something that may, have hurt, my significant other. But like the thing that we have to do, especially like in relationships, and we get done wrong, we have to not only forgive ourselves, but forgive that person. Because
True
the
indeed.
worst thing you can do is, have an issue and then you start shaming the person about previous issues. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? like
Gaslighting comes into play. A lot of
yes,
bad things come
yes,
into play when you end up with
yes.
that type of shit. For sure.
And
Absolutely.
you're carrying that resentment, and low key that tears you down internally. And then when that person does something to you that resparks those feelings that you never addressed or never forgave them for, it's just going to keep being in that circle. And
Yeah,
then the resentment
absolutely.
builds, and then it turns into something even worse. And I think we have to understand that forgiveness is the part biggest part of keeping a relationship, other than communicating, but keeping it going and keeping it pure and true. Because if we keep holding on to these problems that we have with each other, that's all we're gonna do is carry resentment. So try to work hard on forgiveness, man, especially if you're going through it in your relationship.
And isn't resentment fucking poison? Oh my God. You could love someone to death, but resentment inside you will make you, it will block you from showing the love you have for that person. That wall that you
Man,
will subconsciously
preach.
put up any single time something small, or it won't be small per se, but it may seem small. The wall will come up and you can ruin the whole energy of the day. That has been me. I've held on to resentments from the way that my fiance would make me feel at a certain time in our relationship. We've had different times. We've been together 10 years, right? So there's been different times in our relationship, but there's old times and old things I did, that I felt shamed for, because, I did wrong, which, the shame came from myself. No, I tell motherfuckers, I feel more ashamed about my mistakes than anybody can ever make me feel. Really
Yes,
trust me. I feel
yes,
it
true,
myself. Trust me.
true.
You know what I'm saying? But there's certain things that I feel like I don't want to push onto her because I'm scared of, dealing with the ramifications of what I've done. So I try to put my best foot forward and live and put my tail
Yes,
between my
sir.
leg and deal with the shame of it. But the resentments that come into play when you don't forgive, when you hold on to that shit, you will anything that happens, you can this reminds me of that one time. Oh, this reminds me of that one bitch.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
Oh, you drinking orange juice? That one bitch like orange juice. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
Right.
yo, it's just or whatever the case. You don't even have to be relations per se. But that's what we're talking about right now. So it's definitely a cipher man that we got to break of learning how to communicate, learning how to forgive, and learning how to swallow resentment, especially when it's someone you love. I can see if it's some
Yes.
random person. You don't got to deal with randoms every day. But the people you love in your
Right.
life, you don't want them to leave, right? So deal. Find a way to deal. And a lot of that comes back to our topic of men's mental health, guys. A lot of people, a lot of men, we don't take the time in our lives to figure out what's wrong with us, what our issues
No.
are. We just move, we work, we grind, we smoke, we fuck, we drink, we work, we grind, we moving, and we don't take time to sit and do inventory, sit and work, on ourselves. Because the world don't give us time to sometimes. I don't got time. I gotta get up and I gotta keep moving.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And any time you don't have that's meant for that, it's that time that you try to use for me time. I'm gonna sit my ass down. I'm gonna smoke a blunt. I'm gonna smoke a
Be
game
a
when
man.
play a game. Right? Something. Let me relax. Anything to not have to deal with the things that are actually making my everyday life a problem. You gotta
Yes.
sacrifice, and who wants to do that nowadays? Nobody wants to sacrifice, right? Especially when you get older. Fuck that. I don't want to
Man, and
sacrifice.
sometimes, man, like people may not understand this, but you gotta be selfish, man, because if you ain't right, how you gonna be right with other people?
True.
So you got to be selfish and take that time, because I'm a person that I'm worried about everybody else whole time I'm hurt. You know what I'm saying? So I had to
Truth.
really pull back the reins and be like, okay, I got to be selfish a little bit. I got to take some time for myself to get my mind right so I can deal with other people and deal with these other emotions that I'm feeling. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is going through something. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. We just got to learn how to deal with it. Peace.
Facts. All the facts. Guys, this is 251 Talk Radio. How are you doing out there? I am Pro Pittman. I'm with my brother Vinny the Great. We are here on Men's
251.
Mental Health Monday, episode 44. Culture, all being born and built to destroy peace of all the gods to the earth. We're going to keep this conversation going. I want to continue a bit about what we were speaking about shame, and then I'm going to get to the messages of the awesome people we have here on the Stereo app listening to us live. Record this. Once again,
Yes,
if
we
you're on
appreciate you.
Spotify or you're
Appreciate
on
you.
any other platform, YouTube, and you do hear these awesome voices, you want to know, how can I do that? Come on Stereo, listen to us live. Much love to you. Let's get back to this shame real quick. Let's not get back to the shame. Let's speak to the shame. Let's speak a little bit more about it. Getting back to the book that I was speaking about, it continues, it says, you might feel ashamed of your height, your looks, your intelligence, your imperfect skin, the sound of your voice, or how much money you make. You could be feeling shame about something you've said or done, such as yelling at your kids. Shame lies to you and tells you that if others were to know these things about you, they would see your unworthiness and therefore reject or abandon you. If left unchecked, this feeling can metastasize into toxic shame. Toxic shame,
Ooh.
which is the belief that you are
Mm.
holistically or fundamentally flawed. That you start to believe this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it doesn't become
Yes.
just thoughts and ideas. You literally start to feel and believe that you are that bad person. Whether it was someone else that made you feel that way, whether it was your own mind that does that, shame causes you to believe that you are bad rather than you did something bad. That is the big point that I want to make here when it comes to shame. We do bad things. We aren't bad people necessarily. You should know right from wrong. I know what's right and just. I can't be holy, but I damn sure can strive to be righteous. I tell you that. And in that righteousness, I understand what's right and wrong. I have children. I have to teach them that. If you don't know that, you shouldn't have kids in the first place, right? What's right and wrong. So be the version of right you know to be right and just. Don't let the shame and the emotion and the regret of past mistakes keep you from putting your best foot forward in today. Because today is what matters, guys. Today is where we're
Yes,
at.
sir.
Today
And
is where
and
we are at.
and when I heard that read earlier,
Mm-hmm.
the one that like what really stuck out to me is he started naming all these aspects that you can have shame in.
Mm-hmm.
There's like your height, your looks, your if you're fatherhood, being a husband or wife or anything like that. There's so much shame that you can put on you. Now just imagine how much shame just for me being a man that I put on my shoulders every day.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know what I mean? And it's just like I know there's more people out there that probably has that more and more and like how do you deal with that? You know what I'm saying? That's why we create spaces like this so we can talk about this thing. Talk about this. Hey man, how are you doing? Do you need uplifting? Hey, are you going through it? Because I'm going through it too. You know what I'm saying? We got to open up these floodgates and open up this wave of conversation so we can reach men and reach even other men and women so we can talk about these issues and we can understand like these topics like shame and redemption. So yeah,
Absolutely, bro.
it's deep, bro. It's deep, man. Everybody's going through it.
There is the idea of toxic masculinity. We want to promote nutritious masculinity, guys. Make your masculine nature nutritious to those around you and to yourself. This is 251 Talk Radio. I am Pro Pittman, episode 44 of Men's Mental Health here on Stereo.
2-4 is like a Kobe reference.
What the fuck going on? We're going to play our messages we have from our live listeners here on Stereo before we get out of here today. If you guys don't know, this is our second recording of our episode today. We had an issue
Yes,
on
sir.
Stereo with some quality issues that we want to make sure that did not persist and reach your ears across the world. Because they listening across the world, baby. You feel me?
You
So thank you
sound
guys
so
so
darkly
much.
majestic.
Hey, I've learned a way to hone that. I sound like Sauron. Like Gandalf. You feel
Or
me?
Zordon.
Or as a matter of fact, while we're speaking about Zordon, before I play the messages, guys, thank you so much for waiting. We got to give a big rest in peace to Jason David Frank. Growing up,
Yes, sir.
he was an icon of ours. He was the Green Ranger, then the White Ranger, and if I'm correct, he played the Red Ranger later on in life. But he was a hero. He was the man, the coolest guy in the world. When that Green Ranger popped up with the flute, come on, bro. He was beating the Power Rangers' ass, whooping them up, giving them the mix like Thanos did to Hulk. Huh, 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 huh. You know what I'm saying? He used to work them niggas. Then he turned into the White Ranger. Man, I remember the episode where he came out of the pod. You know what I'm talking like? Oh shit,
Yes,
it's the
sir.
White Ranger. That's Tommy, yo. He loved hip hop. He loved the culture. He was a good dude. He continued to practice MMA and show love through his career. And what's sad enough, while we speak about it, particularly on this show, is that he took his own life. And it makes people
Yeah.
wonder what the fuck, like, damn, the White Ranger killed himself? Like, damn,
It's
it's like,
true,
man,
man.
you think these people got it, you think these people are on top of shit that you love, and they going through their own shit, bro. So he definitely an icon. And I have a lot of memories of Power Rangers in my life. Definitely, I know all the Power Ranger alum are feeling this one. So rest in peace to Jason David Frank for sure, bro.
Yeah, man. It's just sad to hear that he might have took his own life. So, if anybody's out there struggling with that, man, just reach out, hit me in the inbox, man. If we want to have a conversation, if you want to talk about something, get it off your chest. Hey, I'm here. I'm here for
True
sure.
indeed.
I'd rather talk about it instead of read about something bad that happened just because you wasn't able to let it out. So any problems anybody out there going through, like I said, just reach out, man, and I'll do my best to keep in contact and we can have a conversation.
By all means, bro. None below. We appreciate you guys being here so much. This is Men's Mental Health Monday. Once again, 251 Talk Radio, here live on stereo, and you will hear us on Spotify and YouTube later on today. This shit will be live, baby. We have these conversations just to spark up, the truth that men's mental health does matter within us and it should matter within you too. We will get to these messages from our awesome listeners on stereo. You guys so much for being here. We have an awesome message from Fairy Gay Godmother.
Hey everyone, it's your queer boy Keen Alcaraz, your very gay godmother, and I wanted to know from the panel and their perspective and opinion of why men experience more mental health problems than women.
What do you think, Vinny?
For me, it's the lack of getting it out. Women have like support groups and a lot more outlets to reach out to help them with what's going on. And far as men, even from just like old teachings, like from growing up, like we were taught not to talk about what's going on and not, be a man, don't be in touch with your feelings and do this and that, just let it go, blow it over, and whole time we need to open up and talk about it too. So I feel like the lack of outlets and to me a lot the lack of awareness in men too that hey man you got a problem, notice your
Yeah,
behaviors, you know what I'm saying? So like um we need to stop thinking that hey have all this testosterone and this machismo like hey we got it, because sometimes we don't, man, and it's okay.
true indeed. True indeed. Yeah, thanks for that message, Fairy Godmother. I'm right there with you. It's a culture, different cultures of men too. It's even worse in the black culture. It's
Yes.
it's shunned upon. Boy, nothing wrong with you, boy. Someone could be legit schizophrenic. Have bipolar issues, depression, and that boy crazy. And if he go try to get himself some real talk, like
Yes,
just something recent
and
that
it's
I've
submissive.
experienced. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And we've been told and conditioned to suck it up, toughen up, boy. Buck up, Bart. And it's silly as that sounds now in
Don't be
2022.
no wimp.
Shit, in 2001, I mean, that's how I felt like that's how life was. That's how I was made
It
to feel.
was.
You
It
know, I
was.
mean, like,
I
by
mean,
all
for our
means,
area, it definitely was.
truth. True indeed, man. We have another message here on Stereo 251 Talk Radio, guys. Thank you guys for joining. If you're listening
Two
to us on
five
Spotify,
one.
hello, hello, hello. Come to us on Stereo to hear the messages live, to be a part of the conversation. It's just so fun to be here with you guys. As always, I am Pro Piven. This is Venie the Great. We're going to get to our next message. We have a couple from Sleepy Wonder.
Oh man, yeah, shame is a tough one, man. Growing up in a Christian home and going to church every day, they had church, and the curriculum on that one, they teaching us fear. But I have my own like thing about Christianity where I'm non-denominational now that I'm grown, but that whole guilt that comes with, I think the Catholic people has this too, like the kids they grew up in the Catholic church as well as like the Christian Baptist or what have you, like carry this like guilt we gotta like shake off, man. But yeah, man, hold on, I got into something else. But yeah, man, that's why I gotta have a clear conscience. You know what I mean? I believe in karma, seeing karma in action. It happened instantly.
Mm.
So I mean, the thing is, man, my demons will eat me alive. You know what I'm saying? If I'm out here doing some shit, and I ain't supposed to be doing and stuff, my demons
For
are
sure.
vicious, son. So I gotta have that clear conscience, cause I done been in. I don't even want to tell you, man. Like the spiritual type of warfare I done been through. But yeah, man, I know what y'all mean about the anxiety and depression, and you know what I mean. But I transmute my energy and I turn it into something beautiful. With creativity. Always had a big imagination, so I'm pretty good at anything that involves creativity. But yeah, get back.
True indeed. True indeed. We got one more from us. Go ahead. Let him speak his piece.
Oh man, forgiveness is powerful. Forgiveness is you taking your power back. Sometimes, man, you gotta like retrace your roots and see why you're in pain and everything, and like this guilt that you've been carrying around like a backpack full of useless shit. You know what I mean? And you just relieve yourself of that shit, man. And it's time to fly. You know. But yeah, I know all about that, man. Dude, I forgive people every day. I forgive. I reach back in my past, retrace my roots, and try to understand why. Why do I feel this way? I think this way. Because every day, you try to better yourself. You know, but
Shouts out to Sleepy Wonder for those awesome, insightful messages. Number love to you, famo. I
Appreciate you, bro.
totally hear you. I'm right there with you, bro. You know how I go.
Yes.
And it takes that self inventory. It takes real time and experience. A motherfucker could try to tell you all day about these things, but you got to experience them yourself to be able to find a way to work on it in your own way. Because I can give you my plan, what I do, what works for me that may not work for you. You know what I'm saying? Supreme mathematics, exercise, and
Oh, for
music
sure.
is what keeps me, proper. You feel me? And that may not be what the other person may need. So we have to take time to listen. It's better to understand than to expect to be understood. You know what I'm saying? We have to listen to one another and find out where we can meet in the middle and find what's best for each other, man. 100%. I appreciate you guys being here. This is Men's Mental Health Monday. We do this once a week here on Stereo, normally around 1:30 Central Time. But if Stereo puts us in the sunken place, we come back later on and make sure we get it done for you guys. Number love, Vinny, my
Nothing
brother.
but love.
Thank you, brother. What you got going on for the rest of your
Hey,
evening?
not much actually, man. I gotta feed these children, so that's
Yeah.
gonna be yeah, and they're all picky, you know. One likes spaghetti, one doesn't. One likes chicken Alfredo, one doesn't.
Bro, I gotta make
And then
four
and then
things sometimes for dinner, like three things, bro.
and
One
then it's
kid want
like
this, one kid want this, I want that. Oh my God, yes.
okay, well, how about we do pizza? Well, I want cheese and sausage. I want cheese and pepperoni. Well, I just want just cheese. Well, you know what? We're all eating top ramen today.
Hey, you know what? We offer these cereal, real shit. We get these bowls out, put some water on it, son. I ain't gonna go there with y'all. Nah, I ain't doing that. Big love, bro. It's always good. We get to laugh. We get to, smile after these conversations. Sometimes they can get deep. They can
Yes.
get, they can get hurtful when the things that we have to remind ourselves or reconjure and remember sometimes. So it's good that we can always end these things on a positive, peaceful note. Once again, this is
For
episode
sure.
44 of Men's Mental Health Monday. If you're listening on Spotify and YouTube, this is the second episode that I have uploaded. There are 42 more episodes on stereo that you can go back and
Oh
listen to,
yes.
and they're
There's
a
a
blast.
history.
We've covered a lot of information that I feel like we're going to revamp and recover now that we are taking this podcast and pushing it everywhere. Please, everyone, please go listen to me on Spotify for at least 60 seconds. Please do that.
60.
Just
Do
give it a
that.
quick listen. I'm trying to get it up to where I can start getting sponsors and and have ads I can host to make this be such a a part of my day to where I can get income from it and spend more time to give
Yes.
you guys this content.
Well,
251 Talk Radio, we are
the more
here.
income that comes in, the more resources we have, the bigger the movement can, be spread.
Absolutely.
It's all
Your
about
support.
awareness, people. It ain't about pockets. It's about awareness.
True
There's a
indeed.
lot of
If you
people
supporting
struggling out there,
251,
and we just want to help that cause.
100%. And we started this trying to help each other out. We can have these conversations in private, obviously, right? But we decided to do these
Yeah.
on this platform to give you guys an understanding that shit, you are not alone. If anyone is feeling these feelings of regret, of doubt, of self sabotage, of
Yes, sir.
inadequacy, all these type of things, just it all comes and goes, bro. But I guarantee you this: you are kick ass. You are awesome. Unless you're a dick, then
Yes.
you probably are a dick.
Yeah.
But I digress. Awesome is awesome,
And
and
just
a
and
dick
we
is a dick, right?
understand, and we definitely understand how hard Mondays can be. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen Office Space, got a case of the Mondays, but come
Mm-hmm.
here and let that out. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Start your week off with some of this good therapeutic vibe.
Before you camp outside on them, we don't want that. We don't want you outside. We don't want you outside hitting with
Nah.
that. Come inside with us on Men's Mental Health Monday. Get in tune, sit back, relax, twist something up. 93 premium, hopefully, no 87. So hope you
Yes.
get the gas on deck. The diesel, the diesel.
You
You
know what I'm
feel me?
saying? Crack a beer. You know what I'm saying? Be
Relax with
be
us.
appreciative that you made it through another 24 hours and come back.
Truth
We
indeed.
got some more for you.
We will see you guys on Men's Mental Health Monday next week. Stick around on stereo on Spotify for the Double PWS shows, the pro wrestling show, where we recap the SmackDown, the Raw, the AEW, the pay-per-views, all the awesome things happening in pro wrestling. We do those a couple times a week.
Yes, sir.
House of Hip Hop Hero Bashar Radio. Make sure you stay in tune. Follow Venie The Great. Follow Pro Pittman. We love you guys so much. Make sure you take care of yourself. Take care of one another. You matter. You are awesome. Okay? Remember
Yes.
that shit. And if you forget that, come back and play this again until you do remember that. Real talk.
And you're
Vinny, thank you,
also
my
not
brother.
alone. You're not
Truth.
alone. 1:30 on Monday. Come share your
Absolutely.
experience. We'll
Big
be
love,
here.
bro. Thank y'all
Big
so much
love.
for being here and hanging out. Fairy Gay Godmother, Sleepy Wonder, we see y'all. Number love. Thanks for hanging out here on stereo with us. Make sure you go check us out on Spotify as well. Check out my music at Pro Pittman on everything. We love you guys so much for being here. Make sure you teach someone that they are awesome as well. We always start these shows and end these shows with a little something like a peace. Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Pretty peace.